What's up guys, this is KhUnlimited. Today I have another video for you guys, and this is actually another Dragon Ball Z video, and I'm actually going to be talking about DragonBall Xenoverse and giving my feedback on the game overall and kind of talking about improvements which could be in Xenoverse 2. So this video is called Xenoverse 2 Feedback. I've seen other Dragon Ball YouTubers talk about this, and I just want to give my perspective in case they do happen to go on YouTube, I guess, and watch these videos and see what the community really wants. And I feel like if they do listen to the community, they can make Xenoverse 2 a much better game than Xenoverse 1. So the first thing that I really want to point out is hopefully in Xenoverse 2 they don't have attributes for clothing. That's one thing that kind of irked me, because since they put attributes on the clothing that other characters wear, it really took out the customization option for characters. And what I mean for this is there's so many different pieces of clothing I wanted that that actually look cool on my character, and that's one thing that customization really relies on. The point of customization is that people could wear whatever they want so they look like what they want to. But since you put attributes on clothing, they kind of defeated that purpose. People only took what was strong, and even if they didn't like how it looked, they put it on because they knew it was going to boost their stats. And since they had that, there was no point of the customization option for clothing, since people weren't looking how they wanted to and they were just looking to get stronger. They're just putting on clothes with attributes. So I feel like if they do bring this back Xenoverse 2, just remove the attributes on the clothing, just have clothing with no attributes, just like how the accessories are. They don't do anything for you, and leave the attributes to the leveling up. Or maybe they could have another way to put on attributes, but please don't be on clothing. That kind of just ruined it for me when it came to customizing my character, because my character looks kind of cool, but it isn't how I would want him to look, because I'm trying to make him stronger at the same time. So when they do bring clothing back in Xenoverse 2, hopefully have no attributes on it. And another thing is, when you're buying clothing from the store, please put kind of preview windows so you know how it looks. There's so much like pieces of clothing, like I had no idea how they looked. I just bought them for the stats, and that's just something which I don't know why they did. When you're buying clothing in a game, you should know how it looks, since you're actually gonna wear it, since it's visible to all of the characters. And so if they do bring it back in Xenoverse 2, hopefully there's actually a preview window to see how the clothing looks in Xenoverse 2. Now, another thing I really want, which is very important to me, is make a much better local multiplayer. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail on this because I actually made a whole video on it. You guys can check it out. I'll have a link in the description below. But I'll talk about what I want in local multiplayer for Xenoverse or for future Dragon Ball Z games overall. So one thing that I didn't really like about Xenoverse, and which is something that really turned me off originally, and was actually something that was going to make me not buy the game, was the local multiplayer. Since local multiplayer was something that I really relied on for any Dragon Ball Z game, and was the reason I actually bought any Dragon Ball Z game, since that's all I really played. So when I heard that the local multiplayer was limited to 3 minutes, 1 map, and no team battles, I was just kind of pissed, because I felt like they could have done so much more, since it was a new Dragon Ball Z game, and since it was also on next gen, yeah, and also current gen. I feel like they could have done much more, but seeing that they had such limited local multiplayer, I wasn't really happy about it. So hopefully in Xenoverse 2 they can bring it back with team battles, with the settings so you can actually change the time, with different maps. I know the reason why they don't have more maps, since the way that they have the camera that has to stay on 2 players, they can't really have too much of a big map. But I feel like even if they brought split screen back, I'd be okay with it. Maybe on the small maps there wouldn't be split screen, on the big maps there would be split screen. They could have options for that. Again, they could bring all these things back as they had them in the older Dragon Ball Z games, and hopefully they do have a much better local multiplayer in Xenoverse 2. Now, the other thing I really want is a more of an open world feel to Xenoverse. I feel like they tried to do it. They attempted it with Toki City, but it wasn't as successful as they thought, because it kind of got annoying at the end of the day, since basically what they made Toki City was what the menu of a game is supposed to be. Like when you want to go to local multiplayer, you have to literally walk to it, which kind of got annoying. If I want to do a parallel quest, I have to walk to it. It just got really annoying, and I feel like the open world aspect should only be for the story. So basically bring back the menu, because whenever I want to play with my brother, like local multiplayer, like actually walking to it just got annoying, and I feel like if it was in a menu it'd be much better. And if they do want to bring Toki City back and make it much more open world, and only put it for the story mode, so in the menu when I press story mode, it would teleport me to Toki City, and that's where I would do anything. That's where I would go to the missions and actually make it completely open world. So I feel like if they make it a more open world feel and bring back kind of the menu system, which a game should have, I feel like Xenoverse 2 would be much better than Xenoverse 1. Now, another thing I really want back, which is kind of minor, is beam clashing. Now, if you don't know what beam clashing is in Dragon Ball or in any Dragon Ball Z games, it's when 2 players basically do a super attack or an ultimate attack of a beam, for example Kamehameha or Galagun, and if they clash, basically both the characters would kind of have to spin the analog sticks, and whoever spins it the most times wins the beam clash, and their attack kind of overpowers their opponent. So that was something which I really loved in the old Dragon Ball Z games, and that was something which I was actually really good at, and I really loved, because whenever we're in a tough situation and we got into a beam clash, I would usually be the one winning in that. And I thought that was a pretty amazing mechanic to have in the game. And now that they don't have it in Xenoverse, it kind of sucks, because now it's just based on whichever one's stronger. So if it was a Kamehameha times 10, it would be better than Kamehameha, so Kamehameha times 10 would win automatically. Sure, that makes sense, but then again, beam clashing was something that would make the game much more competitive and much more fun, especially when I'm playing against my brothers or cousins. So I feel like they should bring beam clashing back. And I understand the reason they didn't bring it back is because when you're doing a 2-on-2 battle or a 3-on-3 battle, it get kind of confusing. Like if, for example, if player number 1 hit player number 2 with the beam clash, then player number 3 hit player number 1, and 4 hit 2 or something like that, it'd be kind of confusing how the beam clash will work. So the most obvious thing to do would be just bring a beam clash back on 1-on-1 battles, and if it's 2-on-2 or 3-on-3, just take away the mechanic completely and only have for 1-on-1. So for the people who are still playing 1-on-1, which most people do, I don't really see myself playing 3-on-3 that much or 2-on-2. So when there is a 1-on-1 battle, beam clashing would be there and would make the fight a bit more competitive and a bit more fun. So I feel like that's something they should really add for Xenoverse 2. Now, something that I really want in Xenoverse 2, and this is the main thing that I kind of hated about Xenoverse when fighting, and I feel like this is the only thing, is locking onto the enemies. Now, even when you're locked on, sure, it works, but then the thing that I hated is whenever I finish my combo or something, and when I start to go into my new combo, he doesn't face the opponent. Like, my character doesn't face the opponent. Like, he'd be going into the combo, he hits him, and then when I start the new combo, he's facing opposite to the opponent and just keeps fighting, and that really opens up a blind spot for me where they could just hit me, and that's something that I really hated, and was one of the reasons where I usually got hit. Other than that, I usually would just keep on hitting them and I'd be good from there. But then that was the only thing that kind of irked me, which I thought was a fault with the mechanics. So hopefully they could make the lock-on better, and that whenever I press square or triangle to attack, it would automatically face my opponent, unlike just facing in a totally different direction, which wouldn't really affect my opponent at all. So hopefully locking on is improved much more, as it was pretty garbage in Xenoverse 1. Now, one thing I also want to mention is the audio in the game. I've never really noticed this in any other game, but the audio in Xenoverse was garbage. It sounded like shit. Like the quality of it was so bad. The voice acting was okay, and the lip syncing was also pretty trash. So I feel like they should really improve the audio. Like, the visuals was also like not that good. It was kind of half par, but then audio could really bring it up. But then the audio was so shit. Like, some of them, like the Supreme Kai of Time, like especially hers, like the quality sounds so bad. Like, it felt like someone just recorded with some kind of old cell phone and they barely did any editing to make it sound better. It just really sounded bad, and hopefully they can make it sound better. I don't know if it was just me. Like, let me know if you guys play Xenoverse, if it sounded bad for you too. But there's so much different audio because the sound is so bad, so unrefined, so unpolished, that it just really took away some of the experience for the game, especially in the cutscenes and in the more serious moments. Hopefully they could fix the audio, improve them more, and also improve the lip syncing, as that was pretty shit too. So hopefully they could increase the audio a bit more and make the audio team do a better job for Xenoverse 2. Now, another thing I really want, and this is more of a personal thing, is when making races for the Buu race, have a male Buu, like a skinny male Buu. I have no idea why they chose Majin Buu to be the male Buu. I feel like the male skinny Buu would make more sense, such as normal Buu or kid Buu. I feel like they would make more sense to be the male race, but for some reason they use Majin Buu, and hopefully they change it to become the skinny male Buu in Xenoverse 2, or just have a choice if you want to be Majin Buu or male skinny Buu when choosing males, and that'd be pretty good since that's giving more customization options to the player. So hopefully they can add the male Buu, and that's just something that I really like, since Kid Buu is one of my mains whenever I fight in the old Dragon Ball Z games, and I was actually going to make a Buu character as my main character, but when I saw there was only Majin Buu and a female Buu, I kind of just went to Saiyan, since they didn't really have the Buu that I wanted. So hopefully they add the male skinny Buu to be a character they can customize in Xenoverse 2. Now, another thing is, going back to the costumes, is that I want more customizations for costumes. Like I said, the customizations was very limited in Xenoverse 1 since they put attributes to the clothing, but something they could have at least done is that we were able to customize the costumes also. The only customization they put on the costumes is what you start with. So for example, if you're a Saiyan, you come with a gi, and basically what you can do is customize the color of the outer gi and the inner gi. But something that I noticed is that's basically pointless, since right when you go into the game, you're going to buy clothes, since they give you attributes, you're gonna have to buy them to protect yourself, and once you protect yourself, you can't see any of your inner clothes. So what was the point of the customization anyways? I feel like it was just a pointless thing they added just to make the player feel like they had a sense of customization. So I feel like since they had attributes to the clothing, it kind of forced us to put the clothing on, and once they did that, we kind of hid the customizations we made since we're wearing the armor, the clothing. So I feel like if they do want to change that, just take away attributes to the clothing, or basically make it that you're allowed to customize the costumes you put on. So for example, if I have Goku's gi or something that adds attributes, but also to make it customizable, I could change the colors of Goku's gi. Obviously, it won't really be the original Goku's gi anymore since his is meant to be orange, but then again, we still want customization in the game. So if you could change the colors of all costumes, I think that'd be something that'd be appreciated, especially if they want to keep attributes to the clothing. Now, another thing I want is mainly for the Super Saiyan race, and which is, don't be too lazy when turning into Super Saiyan. So in this, basically all they did for the Super Saiyan is basically change your hair to gold, and yeah, that would be the first thing that anyone would think of, but I feel like they had so much more space to make it much better. So for every hairstyle they had for Saiyan, they could have made a counterpart where it was basically up. So you know, when you turn Super Saiyan, when Goku turns Super Saiyan, his hair goes up because of the energy he has. So with each hair, they could have made a variation where it was pointing up. So when you do turn Super Saiyan, it goes up, and it would actually make you feel kind of better when you turn Super Saiyan, because in this, since it only turns gold, they didn't really feel like you had an impact with the energy. I know this kind of sounds weird, but it's for the people who actually get impact from Super Saiyan. When I turn Super Saiyan, I don't really feel anything special. The only thing good about it was the infinite key type mechanic they have for Super Saiyan. So because of that, Super Saiyan didn't really feel any special. So I feel like if they added this variation to every hairstyle, it would make it much better. And also in the future, hopefully they could add more Super Saiyan varieties. In this, they only had 1 and 2. And since they're probably going to change the hair, if they do change the hair to go up in Xenoverse 2, maybe they could add Super Saiyan 3 just to make long hair for every hairstyle. And also maybe if they do want to expand and make Super Saiyan 4 or God or whatever, at least make it a Super Saiyan 3, and that's pretty common. Super Saiyan 4, I know it's not canon, even though that's my favorite type of Super Saiyan, but maybe they could add it if they wanted to. But whatever the case may be, hopefully they do be a little bit less lazy for Super Saiyan and kind of change the hair a bit when you do turn to a form of Super Saiyan. Now, the last thing I want in Xenoverse 2 is actually a very small thing, and is actually the color of your aura or your energy when you power up. So basically in Xenoverse, when you're just flying or you're charging up, you have a color of your aura, and I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure the color of your aura changes per race. So when you're Saiyan, I believe it's blue. I think it may be purple when you're in the Frieza clan, I'm not sure. But the thing that I think would be obvious, that they would let us change the color of your aura. So for example, if I'm a Saiyan, if I want to, I could change the aura to yellow or orange or green or blue, whatever I may want it. That's just one little thing they could add to the customization, but it would add so much uniqueness to each character, as they have their own color for their aura, and they may have their own reason to it. So I feel like this is kind of a no-brainer what they should have had in Xenoverse 1, and hopefully they do add in Xenoverse 2, since it's such a simple thing to add, but would add so much uniqueness to each character. So that's basically my list that I want in Xenoverse 2. That's basically my feedback from Xenoverse 1. Overall, I really love Xenoverse 1. I feel like I didn't really expect this at all, but I feel like it is probably my favorite game from the Dragon Ball Z series. I kind of try not to compare it to the other Dragon Ball Z games, to kind of take it as its own game in its own new series. But then again, I really enjoyed it a lot, and the story was pretty amazing for the game. So hopefully they can keep it up with Xenoverse 2 and fix all the problems that I mentioned in this video. So if you guys do play Xenoverse, let me know down in the comments below if you have any feedback for Xenoverse 2, if you would want anything added, if you'd want anything removed, or if you would want anything changed. So let me know down in the comments below, and remember, the possibilities for Dragon Ball Z are unlimited. Later.